Hey, good morning everybody. 29th of March. I hope everybody's doing well out there. Give me a big thumbs up if you can hear me all right. I'm playing my headphones this morning because I got my guitar set up for you guys, which I normally don't do. But I figured today I try to set it up and see if I can get the voice and the guitar to be heard clearly without being too loud, because people are still sleeping in the house. So I play the music subtly for you guys. So how does that sound? Can you hear the guitar okay? It's clipping a little bit already, so I'm a little worried that either the guitar is going to be too loud or the voice is going to be too low. Well, I'm going to turn off my video here. All right, good morning everybody. I see there's already a couple of early risers in the house, which is fantastic to see. I hope everybody's doing well today. Give me a shout out if you guys are all tip-top, hanging in there. Hopefully everything is good on your end, wherever you're watching from all over the world. Appreciate you guys tuning in early on Sunday morning. It's been crazy the last couple of days. Yesterday was nuts. I woke up last night, it was about this morning actually, it was about 3:40 or something, and there was like an earthquake. And I heard a big boom and some rumbling, and I woke up, it woke me out of my sleep, and I said, what the hell is that? You know, it's like, what's going on? It's like the end of the world, man. It's like, so if I'm a little wrecked this morning, you'll know why. I didn't really get a good night's sleep after all. But I guess it's understandable. I'm wondering if anybody else that's in the area here heard the same kind of thing. But I also heard that there was an earthquake in Italy last night as well. So it's like something's happening, guys. I don't know what it is, but I think Mother Nature is testing our resolve. So, all right. So everybody's in the house here. It's good to see you guys. Christopher Thomas, good morning, buddy. Yeah, I saw your message. I appreciate that, man. I'm glad you like the T-shirt. I wish I could see it. I wish I could see a picture of it. Maybe you could send me a picture or somehow give me a picture of it. I'll post it on one of my videos if you want, if you don't mind. I actually wanted to get a couple of T-shirts also for some friends of mine, but I didn't get around to doing that. I should actually get another one for me. My previous T-shirt that I had, my Addicted to Gear T-shirt, is too tight. I've been gaining so much weight, guys, it's not even funny. I don't know what to do anymore. Every day there's another pound that sticks to me, and by the end of this virus thing, I'm gonna be like 290 pounds maybe. I don't know, but I'm trying my best to drop some weight, but it's really not easy. I'm a compulsive eater when I get nervous, you know. I need something crunchy to keep me distracted. So yeah, I'm a little worried about that. I'm trying to take walks now and then, because where I live, I'm a little bit more isolated and not secluded, but there's not that many people walking around, so it's kind of safe to do that. So I've been taking some walks, but I don't know. I don't really feel like walking these days, just because, you know, they say you're supposed to stay home, and I want to encourage that as much as possible. So let's say hello to other people in the house. Well, first let me answer Christopher Thomas's question, because he was nice enough to pick up an Addicted to Gear T-shirt. He says that he's setting up his new X Series Jackson V this morning, changing from stock 9s to 10s. Ernie Ball. Sometimes I hate a Floyd. Yeah, I know. Floyds are fun, but I'm telling you, lately I've discovered they're not worth the hassle. I really don't. I basically sold off all of my guitars that had a Floyd Rose on them because it's just you're always tinkering with them. I don't know. What I'd like to try is the new smaller Floyd Rose that are that you see on the Charvel. I think it's on the Guthrie Govin model. It's like not as big, and it looks like it could make a good tremolo system. But I don't know. I'd rather play than mess around with my Floyd. So I'm playing the Harley Benton this morning. Still stock. I haven't changed anything on it yet, but I plan to. There's going to be some changes happening on this guitar. I just got a set of the P90s that I was talking to you guys about, the Zangbucker. I can't speak this morning. I haven't had enough coffee, I think. The Zangbucker pickups. These were sent to me custom wound, and I can't wait to put them into the guitar. I'm hoping to do that maybe today. I don't know. I like the guitar the way it sounds stock. I mean, but I think the humbuckers not the humbuckers, but the P90s on this guitar use ceramic magnets. I'm not 100% certain of that. So I'm curious to see what the new pickups will sound like, because they have different magnets in them. They're a combination, because in the P90s there's basically two magnets. I'll do a video on this for you guys, for whoever's interested, but there's two magnets side by side with these pickups. A humbucker usually has one magnet, the P90s have two, and the Zangbucker recipe, use a combination of A5 and A2 magnets. So I'm curious to see what kind of sound they're gonna give me, if it's gonna be clearer or if it's gonna saturate better. Or these ones are great though. So I'm playing the guitar through my Ampero. I have it set up through that, and I'm using my Headrush FR speaker right over here. Nothing crazy. I think I actually messed up my patches yesterday. I was making a video on the Ampero, and I was demoing something, and I think I overrode my patches with some patches that were not optimized. Plus I'm playing it pretty quietly, so you're not going to get too much dynamics, but it sounds pretty good. I like it a lot. I'm really having fun with the Ampero lately. So let's say good morning to a few people. So there's the Gospel of Mark online. How's it going, buddy? Nice to see you. He says P90s rule. I like P90s. I didn't realize I did, but now that I have a P90 guitar, I really like it. I've been playing this guitar a lot actually lately. It really it plays nice, man. It's a nice guitar. For the price, I'm really happy with it. I have to say, I did some work on it. I think I mentioned that on the other live session. I spent a good deal of time on the frets, and I polished them up. I leveled them. They play super nice now. And I also filled in part of the inlays, because there was like very, very hairline thin gaps in the inlays. And I just super glued them and scraped them out and sanded them a little bit. Play nice now. I think once I get the new pickups of this guitar, it's going to be a keeper. It already is a keeper, but I think it's going to be even nicer. Tim's in the house as well. He says, howdy, Tony. Can't speak, guys. Howdy, Tony. Jamming on the Harley Benton, I see. That's right. And what else do we have here? Philip Cochran's in the house. Vox Guitars Rock is in the house. Rich is in the house. A lot of new faces too. Bruce, nice to see you. Fat Philosopher is always in the house, one of our regulars here. Evan. All right, cool. Kim's Workshop. Kim's Workshop says ride your bike. Yeah. Still, you know, man, I don't know. It's like I know I should be doing more activity. I'm not moving enough. That's the problem, you know. Making these videos takes a lot of my time as well. And you don't really burn too many calories just moving your fingers or talking. So I thought about the video I made the other day, and since all of this crazy virus stuff is happening now, I was giving some thought to like what my desert island guitar would be, and I thought I would ask you guys the same question right at the top of the video. So if you had only one guitar that you can keep with you because you had to, for whatever reason, liquidate all your other gear, what guitar would it be? I'm curious. I gave that that idea a lot of thought, and I thought to myself, it's already hard enough to choose one guitar, but I still gotta say that after doing the Strat Challenge the other day, where I blindfolded myself and I tried to see if I could identify all of my Strats without looking, and I compared them side by side, you know, just physically touching them and not really looking and just playing them, I gotta say the road worn Strat feels really good. I think, you know, it would be hard for me not to take that one. It's just like so comfortable. It's like like an old pair of jeans, you know, when you're like really comfortable with it and it doesn't fight back. It's like effortless. So what would your guitar be, guys? Tell me what you guys would take. I'm just curious. So let's go, let's see here. Fat Philosopher says, practice doing power slides on the floor with your guitar. Yeah, that's it. Or somehow integrate crunches into your playing. Really, you know what it is, guys? It's eating. It's just overeating. My portion sizes are just too big. I always go back for seconds, and I gotta stop that. You know, I just gotta take my portions, cut them in half, and stop there. That's really what it comes down to if you want to drop some weight. You can work out a lot, but it really takes a lot of energy to burn like 100 calories, you know. You gotta run for like a good 40 minutes to burn the calories of an apple. And the apples are not the problem. By the way, I broke my cup. I was pissed off. My favorite Addicted to Gear cup that I use all the time. I just the handle broke off of it, and I glued it back together because I really liked the cup, but I didn't want to get rid of it. And it ended up breaking on me again, and it just fell on the floor. It made a big mess, and I got pissed off. I love that cup. I'm gonna have to order another one. All right, so let's talk about gear. Let's talk about what you guys, any questions for me? I know like I do a lot of talking in these videos and I have a lot of stuff to talk about, but I figured give you guys opportunities to ask some questions and see what you guys want to talk about here, all right? And then I'll bring up some of my own topics as we go. So let me just go back to see some of the questions here. So Christopher says he's going to stay with 9s and just make a slight truss rod adjustment. Couldn't get extra springs to stay on Floyd. Love-hate thing. Yeah, I get it. Have you tried the new set of Ernie Ball strings? There's apparently there's a new set out, which they're doing another hybrid type of thing with the string gauges, and some people really like them. I like 9s. Like I stick with 9s. I find 10s are a little bit too heavy for me. 8s are a little too thin. I usually get the hybrid slinky I tried the fat bottoms for a while, but I don't really need fatter strings on my the low strings. So sometimes simple is the best. Somebody asked me last time what I thought about the coated strings, and I have tried them before, specifically on my acoustic instruments. I've tried them on my Martin guitars and some of my other acoustics, and I find that they're okay, but they kind of dull out, and when they do dull out, they kind of they start sounding like rubber bands. I don't know. I don't have an issue with like sweaty hands or acidity in the fingers. So for me, having coated strings is kind of like overkill, and they're pretty expensive for the price of a regular set of strings. Like you can get three sets of strings for the price of one coated set. So I don't know. I don't think it's worthwhile for me, to be honest. If you hear funny noises, it's just my dog. I think she's dreaming again. She's having some nice dog dreams. You'll hear funny noises coming out from behind me here. Don't worry. Don't panic. So the Gospel of Mark asks if I've ever tried the Mojotone noiseless P90s. Mojotone makes great stuff, and he was thinking of trying them. I haven't tried them, no. I've only had a couple of experience with noiseless pickups. I tried a couple of noiseless sets from Fender, and I wasn't pleased. You know, like, yeah, you have, if the hum really bothers you, it definitely go with the noiseless. But I find that, honestly, the loss in frequencies bother me, and I'd rather have noise and all of the frequencies than no noise and feel like the sound is limited somehow. Those were the area, I think I tried the Area 51s at the time, and I didn't like them. I actually ended up taking them out. I don't know if the Mojotone stuff is better. I haven't tried them. I'd order more stuff from Mojotone, but the duties and shipping kill me. Breaks the deal for me. Evan's saying hi from India. How are things there, Evan? How are things? Hopefully things are under control. Fat Philosopher says I'm a big guy too. Just look at my name. Yeah, I'm gonna have to change my name too soon. Very soon. I'm thinking of just putting the scale in front of my, keeping the scale in front of my fridge. So every time I go grab a snack, I gotta step on it, and maybe it'll change my mind. Drastic times need drastic measures. Yeah, Kim says he rides his bike and he says he just lost 8 pounds. That's really good, man. Keep it up. It's fantastic. Fat Philosopher says he needs a lefty version of my T-shirt. Why lefty? Evan says, how's Flashback Delay 2 and Mojo Overdrive by TC Electronic? I haven't tried the Mojo. I've watched a lot of videos on that delay, and not the delay, sorry, I'm mixing my words up, on that drive pedal. I don't know, it sounds good, but there's just something missing for me. So I never actually ended up buying one. The Flashback Delay 2 sounds great. Expensive, but good. I think if you can find a used one somewhere, that would be a great option. Right now, I have my eye on the all-in-one unit from TC, which is basically a bunch of effects in one enclosure, and that looks interesting. It's not going to be cheap either, but it's going to be cheaper than buying the effects individually, I think. So that's going to be pretty cool. I can't wait to try that out. Actually, you know what the funny thing is when we're talking about delays here? I didn't realize this. I had made a video review on this little cheap Donner delay. It's called the Donner Timewave. You must have seen these things online. They're like really cheap and they're tiny. They're like 39 bucks, right? You can get these on Amazon, whatever. 39 bucks. I put this up against my MXR analog delay. And I like this one better. Am I crazy? Am I losing my mind, guys? Tell me I'm crazy. You know, it's the second time I buy the analog delay, the MXR analog, the carbon copy. Okay, that's the one I'm talking about. Second time I buy that delay pedal, and I bought it the first time, kept it for a while, ended up selling it. Bought it again, have it on my board right now, but there's something I can't get along with that particular. It's like I don't know. It's like, is it because it's too dark? I don't know. But I put this one side by side against it, and I kept going to this one, and I'm pretty amazed because it's like a really cheap, inexpensive delay pedal. I'm probably gonna like video that side by side comparison so you guys could tell me if I'm losing my marbles or not. Okay, I'm getting a little worried over here, but honestly, I liked it, and I'm thinking of selling the MXR carbon copy again. Fat Philosopher says, saw your video, but there wasn't enough strats in it. Yeah, I agree. I actually left a couple out just to make it easier. It wasn't easy, man. That video made me very nervous. It wasn't easy selecting, like, it's not easy identifying your guitar just by touch and playing like a couple of seconds of it. And it's been a while since I pulled out all those strats, so I'm thinking about doing the same thing, the same type of challenge with the telecasters to see if it would be easier, but I have a feeling it won't. If I get an opportunity, I'll video that. I'll make a video of that too. So Fat Philosopher says, check out the Vegatrem. It can bend like a Floyd Rose without the tuning hassles. I looked at that trem, and it looks cool, but it's friggin', I'm going to say friggin', expensive. When a tremolo system costs as much as a budget guitar, I'm a little nervous about that. The Wilkinsons with locking bridge saddles look good. Yeah, I agree. Wilkinson make pretty nice bridges. I don't like the fact that they put their name all over them, like really big. They should be a little bit more discreet with that. But yeah, those I've seen. What is the price on that? Do you know? Bruce is in the house. He says, just want to let you know that I made it to the bathroom in time last Sunday night, watched The Twilight Zone, and I've been watching Black Mirror. So how do you like Black Mirror? Sometimes I watch that show and at the end of it I'm like, what the heck? It's like, it's really on the edge. Some stuff is really disturbing. Maybe it hits a little too close to home. Rich says P90s in a Telecaster is pure heaven. Never tried them in a Telecaster. I like the bite of Telecasters though. I don't know if I think the P90s in a Telecaster would make a Tele sound a little bit more rounded. I like the bite. It cuts really through. It cuts through really well in the live situation. The Telecaster I'm talking about. But this one too, now I think is going to cut really well. I haven't tried it live yet. Mickey, how's it going? I hope all is well with you. I recently put a thin bar magnet on a pickup to see if it would enhance the sound. Now the guitar isn't as loud as it was. Did I mess up? You put a thin bar magnet in what type of pickup? Was that a P90? If it sounds if it's not loud, maybe the magnet was put in the wrong direction. You don't want to reverse the polarity of the pickups, Mickey, because that's gonna thin out the sound. Strat 5150 says, I highly recommend the Harley Benton SC Custom P90. Has become my favorite guitar since I got it. I like, yeah. I think you mentioned that last time. The Band Fly says, I was invited by Tim Buku? Tim Buku? Well, welcome, man. Nice to see you here. We got somebody from Thailand. Hi, man. How are things there? Things under control? All right. So I'm just reading through some of the comments that went by here. I'm trying not to miss any of the comments. You guys are awesome and always have great things to say. Fat Philosopher says a headless portable guitar would be good for travel. That would be my desert island axe. Yeah, I think you mentioned that already, Steinberger. Tim says Goldtops remind me of Gary Moore. Bruce says the best exercise for losing weight is repeatedly pushing your plate away from you. Yeah, that's it. You know what? When they say do reps, I didn't realize that they didn't mean reps of this, because I do a lot of reps of those. I'm Canadian, but my parents are Italian. So overeating has been part of my life forever, and it's become the norm. So I got to break that habit. It's not easy. You know what, Fat Philosopher? I tried doing those 18-hour fasts. And then, but it's hard to keep stuff like that up because it's not natural, right? You end up, a diet is temporary, and eventually you have to go back to eating the way you normally do. So I feel if you do any kind of dieting or if you do these fasts, they could work temporarily, but then it comes back. You really have to eat properly, man. And I guess what's really important, I don't want this to turn into a health show, but what's really important is to make sure that you're filling yourself up with nutritious foods that take a lot of space in your stomach but don't have a lot of calories. So for example, if you're eating a chocolate bar as opposed to a bunch of grapes, you could eat a whole lot more grapes than what you're going to get from a chocolate bar. So at the end of it all, you'll feel more satisfied longer. It's common sense. We all know what we need to do. It's just that we don't do it. That's the thing, right? There's no magic solution. It really is just shut your mouth, stop eating. Ken says my 1979 Yamaha Studio Lord 500. I guess he's referring to his desert island choice. Sounds like a great guitar to me. I haven't actually tried one, but I'm sure it's pretty cool. Vox Guitars Rock says, what's everyone's favorite tuner? What do I use? I have a TC electronic tuner on my pedal board. I chose that one for the pedal board because it does have a built-in like a buffer, and it's switchable. You can take the buffer in or out of the signal, and I find it really enhances the overall sound of my pedal board. So I chose that one. It works really well. I like it. For the little portable ones, I have a Snark. I don't know where it is now. Somewhere around here. I've had that for a while. It goes through batteries pretty quick, but it works well. And as far as the small clip-on tuners go, it's lasted quite a while. Glenn's in the house. Hi, Glenn. How's it going, man? For him, it would be his old 60s Gibson Les Paul Special with P90s, Fender Super Reverb. If I'm on an island, I'm going to turn it up, way up. Yeah, I agree. It's a great amp. I'm sure you're getting a lot of mileage out of your Les Paul as well. 60s Gibson. Is that a 60s reissue? I'm assuming it's a reissue. Bruce says he's opted to go with 9.5s instead of 9s or 10s for strings. That's pretty cool. I like that. Diodario strings. Maybe I should try them. I think that's exactly what Ernie Ball is doing right now. They're offering in-betweens. 9.5s, and yeah, I want to try them. I've been using Ernie Ball strings forever. I've jumped back and forth a couple of times. I've tried Diodario, Ernie Ball. I've tried GHS Boomers. Tried a couple of different brands, but I keep on going back to the Ernie Ball strings because they're easy to get. You find them all over the place. They're pretty common, and they're not too expensive. I usually buy them in bulk. Usually grab them off Amazon. I get sets of 3 or 6 or whatever. Mikey says he's considering a Harley Benton as for a guitar for fun, thinking it's something with humbuckers and stainless steel frets. Are they really any good? That they are cheap for the spec? Well, Mikey, I don't know if you've seen the videos, but I did a video on 2 guitars with humbuckers from Harley Benton with stainless steel frets. You can go back into my library there of videos and you'll see those. So one is the Fusion 2, the other one was the T-style guitar with humbuckers. Great guitars, both of them are. Sound good to me. Again, I'm not 100% convinced of the pickups, and eventually I will probably opt to put something else in there except besides the stock pickups, but they're not bad out of the box. You don't require a change, but unless you're picky like I am. I normally always change, well, not always, but almost always change the pickups out on my guitar. I don't know if it's just a placebo effect. You know, you spend money and you put something else in and all of a sudden you think it sounds better. It's hard to tell sometimes, so I have to do a side-by-side comparison. Before I put in the new Zangbucker P90s, I'm going to record a clip with this guitar and the stock pickups, and then I'll install the pickups, the new ones, and I'll try and play the same thing. You guys could tell me if I'm losing my marbles or not, all right? I think that'll be fun. Bob says he gets 9s for all of his guitars except his Les Paul types, and then he gets the 9.5s. So why do you do that? Why half a step up for the Les Paul? What's the difference? What difference do you see there? Is it a tone thing or just a feel thing? Strat 5150 says he has the green Fusion 2 and it's fantastic. I have the same one. I agree. I like that guitar a lot. Great feeling guitar. Bruce suggests that he's had some nice results with Rio Grande Blues Bar P90s. So what did you replace with those pickups? The Gospel of Mark says the P90s in his PRS SE, one Carina sound amazing, very fat and hot. Fat and hot, two things I like. Just like my ex-girlfriend. No, I'm kidding. This is a joke. It's a joke, guys. Easy. And he says he's addicted to M&Ms. The ones with the peanuts, man. Those are the bomb. You can't just have one. Rich says noiseless single coils are just muted humbuckers to me. I have tried them and thought they lacked character. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Character. I agree. I find that the noiseless pickups tend to do that. I haven't yet tried a set of noiseless pickups that I thought, wow, they don't make noise and they sound great. It's usually like, wow, they don't make noise, but they don't always sound great. So I don't know if you guys saw the video that I made on the Phoenix wireless system. I often get an opportunity to try out these wireless systems, which I find is really cool. Some of them are really great and I like a lot. Some of them, they really leave a lot to be desired. But the Phoenix system actually sounded good. I didn't get any noise with the system. It's just that it's not the cheapest in the bunch, and it's big. You have a big receiver. I tried these guys in the past, which I find are really good too. These are made by Nux. They're the B5 RC wireless systems. I like the fact that they have a case that charges up the receiver and the transmitter and keeps them charged. And they're not that expensive, but you do get noise. Unfortunately, you do get some noise. I had that issue happen to me when I was jamming in a rehearsal studio, and I ended up getting some noise through them. So yeah, there's always going to be give and take with budget systems, I guess. Bruce says he used to weigh 279 pounds, now 180. Very strange. Never really went on a diet, just stopped eating at fast food restaurants. Well, yeah, if you're eating at fast food restaurants regularly, that will end up putting on a lot of weight very gradually. The weight thing happens slowly, so you don't realize it. It kind of sneaks up on you, like half a pound here, quarter of a pound there. But then it's a very quick coming on, but it's hard to get that thing off. I kind of I tell myself it's water, I must be bloated, must be retaining water. Yeah, I wish. Someone says, I kind of wish TC brings back the Nova series of pedals. They were pretty good, weren't they? Yeah, I remember using that as well. I think those were the ones where the pedals would be activated on release, and people were complaining about that. Where you wouldn't click the pedal and it would activate, you had to actually step off of it, which was kind of a little bit strange. Fat Philosopher says I'm crazy. I agree. My wife's been telling me that for years. Now my kids are telling me too, so I guess that's that. So the Gospel of Mark says island guitar and amp, Gibson Les Paul standard, and his Friedman. Yeah, I agree, man. How long have you had the Friedman? And did you buy it new or used? Craig says his Harley Benton SC550 and TE sets of strings. I'm killing time changing all of my guitar strings. I'm doing the same thing, doing a lot of setups. I'm looking for little things to, you know, fret jobs and whatever, changing out pots. But I'm running out of parts. So I've ordered some stuff wherever I can, but it takes a lot longer to get the stuff. I'm going to be working on the guitar I got for my son, which is that Donner Strat, the red one. You might have seen it in the Strat comparison video. It's actually a pretty good guitar for starting off, and I'm going to be doing a fret job on that. I'm going to be changing out the 2 single coil Strat type pickups in there. I'm going to keep the ceramic bridge pickup because it sounds good, and I'm going to probably change the nut as well. I've been trying to do it, but my son doesn't want to give it to me because he knows it's going to take a while and he's probably not going to have access to it for quite a bit. But I want to try and do that. I'll probably make a video of that as well. What the heck? If you guys like that kind of stuff and you geek out on that stuff, I'll do it. I don't mind. Christian says Desert Island pick for him is a 1991 60s reissue and a Fender Twin. You know what, the Gibson, Les Pauls and Fenders make a nice combination, in my opinion. Don't they? I find they do. So Bruce says 9.5 on Gibsons feels somewhat like 9s on a Fender because of the scale difference. Okay, I gotta try that. I'm gonna pick up a set of those new Ernie Ball strings. Everybody's been talking about them, so I'm gonna give it a run. Maybe you're right. I'm gonna try that out. And Homegrown Sun says Leo Fender magnetic field pickups do about the best for single coils. Gotta try that then. So many things I gotta try. You guys have a wealth of knowledge. I'm very impressed by you guys. You know, I'm very happy that I'm having these regular live sessions, because not only does it stop me from going crazy when we're in isolation, for me, just being able to talk about gear with other people that love gear is like, I'd be doing this all the time anyways. I'm gonna just, my head's chopped off here. Let me just change the angle a little bit. Yeah, that's better. I want you to get the full effect. Homegrown Sun says, got a link for those wireless, have some Christmas gifts I can get ahead on. Are you talking about these? If you're talking about these, I made a video, and you can see the full review, and I think the link is in that video. So you just check that out. Either one, actually that one or the more recent one has a link in there. Fat Philosopher says, what do you feel is the best way to sell used gear? Well, if you want to sell used gear, number one would be don't overprice it if you really want to sell it. I see a lot of people do that because they figure they're going to get haggled. And often that's what happens when you're dealing with online, you know, like Craigslist, Kijiji, or things like that. eBay used to be good. I used to sell a lot of stuff on eBay, but now the fees got so crazy and too risky. There's already too many people trying to pull scams and saying that, you know, they received stuff and it was damaged. You know, it's too much hassle. I prefer to deal in person. I don't know, sales are final, but you get the opportunity to meet somebody and have them try out the instruments so that you know that there's no hidden defects or anything like that. It avoids hassles at the end of the day. I've been very lucky. I've never had an issue with somebody trying to pull a fast one on me, luckily. But I just list your items, give it a nice description, like a clear description, photos, as many as you can, even if there's any defects, just take photos, be transparent, and you know, if you're not negotiable on the price, just say so, and give the item a reasonable price. Like, check out what they're going for. You know, it's ridiculous if you try and, you know, charge extra for something that you know is really not selling for that price when it's used. Just go into the listings and see what other ones are selling for in your area. And I know it's hard sometimes because you hard to let go, and you feel somehow emotionally attached to the instrument or the gear, and you but I think that's the best method. I hate when people post videos, not videos, I hate when they post an item for sale as a group, for example, pickups or pedals or whatever, and they list, like, they show a picture of a really nice pedal and like a really low price, and then you go into the listing and you realize that they're not talking about that one. It turns me off right away. And don't underestimate the power of trades, because often, you know, we're all looking for cash. Cash is king, but sometimes offering the ability to trade for other gear, I've come across a lot of good deals that way. You'd be surprised, like, what stuff people are willing to trade. I made some really good trades, and I came out on top on those. So, and you can always, this is one tip for you guys that I always like to use also when you're trying to sell stuff. If you list that you're willing to accept trades, you might have something that is good, but not necessarily a hot item. So people are not necessarily going crazy offering you deals to buy it. But if you open yourself up to trades, you can technically get something of even or equal value, and then that item might actually be something that is easier to sell. And even if you don't like it, you just sell that instead and get your money. So for example, let's say you have, I don't know, some guitar, and you feel like, you know, you put it up for sale and nobody's biting. And then somebody, you say, okay, I'll accept a trade. And somebody offers you, for example, a Marshall amp. You know, Marshall, anything from Marshall, anything from Fender, anything from PRS or Gibson or the bigger names, they're more sought after by buyers, and they're easier to sell. So you can just swap and then sell it. And if you really want cash, you can get your cash that way. I've done that a bunch of times. All right. What else, guys? What else are we talking about here? I had a bunch of stuff I wanted to talk about, so maybe I'll start talking about that a little bit. Somebody mentioned that you're doing a lot of setups, guitar setups and stuff, and I've been working on that as well. Last time I wanted to talk about some of the actual equipment that I use to do setups, but I have a whole bunch of things that I use, and I don't want to go through all of them because it's going to be boring. But one thing I wanted to share with you guys, there's a couple of items that I purchased. This thing here I purchased on eBay. It's called Homeland, and what it is, it's like a diamond file for frets. Looks like that. And so it's got a ridge around the entire perimeter of it. You can see how it's shaped, and it has a groove, right, along the entire perimeter, and you can use it to shape your frets, and it works really, really well. And it wasn't that expensive. I think they sell something similar like this on StuMac, but they charge a fortune. StuMac, I mean, they have good stuff, but Christ, stop gouging people for your ideas. It's like super expensive. So that's something I wanted to share with you. You can get that. And one of the items also that I picked up recently, and I bought this on DHgate. DHgate is basically kind of like a an eBay, but from like China and stuff. This is a, it's a little fret file. I don't know if you can see this here. It looks wide, but it's really thin. And it's got really, really, you probably won't see it, but the little teeth in it are really fine. And it really works well for cutting, at least starting the slots in your nuts when you're slotting your nuts. And the thing cost me like $3. Honestly, it's a bargain. So I grabbed that. And I really feel that that definitely is something that helps me whenever I'm doing my setups as well. I've tried other types, but they weren't as good. I have all my I have all my stuff in a bag over here. The other thing that I highly recommend is this Io Chiku brand. This is basically the same stuff, same type of edge file that you would use to round your frets that they sell on Stumac, but really a lot less expensive. And it's got the edge ground off on one side, so it doesn't mar the edge of your fretboard here. Works really well and not expensive. I ended up getting that on eBay. So I build up the tools as I need them. I don't buy tools if I don't use them, you know. Once you have the stuff that you need, it's great because you can work on your guitars all day long. You don't have to worry about somebody else doing the work for you. And I really believe that you have a better idea of what you like than anyone else. You know, if you bring it to a tech, they're going to set up your guitar to standard specs, but maybe that's not what you need, you know? Maybe you need a slightly higher action, or you prefer slightly lower action, or whatever, you know? All right. All right, so what else are we talking about here, guys? Bruce says we're all addicted to gear. We should start a support group. This could be like our regular Sunday meeting, our regular support group for people that are addicted to gear, you know? We can introduce ourselves. Hi, my name's Tony. I'm addicted to gear. We can talk about how to get over denial. We can share numbers so that when you're thinking about buying a guitar or something, we can call each other in the middle of the night to talk you out of it. You joke, but I'm telling you, it's true. So, Fat Philosopher says Shane recommends Texas specials for single coils. Texas specials are good. I have a set in some of my one of my Strats, but there's a set of single coils that I highly recommend even more. And I think I mentioned it last time. I'll mention it again. They're city limit model Strat pickups from Tone Rider. You can get these on eBay. Tone Rider make inexpensive pickups. I've tried some of the other models. I wasn't crazy about them, but the City Limit, specifically that particular set, sounds great. And they use a series of hybrid magnets on those. So like on the bridge, for example, I think it's a combination of Alnico 5s and Alnico, I don't remember, maybe 2s, something like that. They have beveled magnets like the classics do. They're really well built. They're not that expensive. I think a set is about $100 or something. So they're not super expensive, but they sound fantastic. I've used those in a couple of my Strats. Fat Philosopher Yeah, Strat 5150 is asking Fat Philosopher where he's located. Hiroshima, Japan. Homegrown Son, great, thanks. Leo used the magnetic field in his G and L series, and I have adjustable pole pieces as well. It's a unique design I'm sure you can appreciate, and they are affordable. I've seen those, and yeah, the adjustable pole pieces are really great because you can really dial in the sound. You don't really find those used that often, though, I gotta say. That's the thing about good stuff, is like people hang on to it, so it's hard to get them. I don't know if you can buy them from G&L directly, just the pickups. Bob says, I give the guitars away now, I don't bother selling them. So send me a couple. All right, Philip, I appreciate the thumbs up, buddy. So Homegrown says, my Guild JF30-12 string was a trade and a candidate for Desert Island guitar. You know what, man? You guys are not going to believe me on this one, but I'm telling you, okay? I hope the guy that I traded stuff for is not watching, okay? Because I feel bad. I kind of feel bad. I traded a Mesa Boogie. I always say Mesa instead of Mesa. I guess it's an Italian thing. I traded a Mesa Boogie Classic for a Sir Standard Pro, and I had only paid the amplifier about $900, so I ended up getting a guitar that is now worth over $4,000 for a $900 trade. I think I came out on top on that one. What do you guys think? So sometimes don't underestimate the power of trades. That's what I'm trying to say. Joseph, I like that. I like your story. He says, slotting your nuts, LOL. I went to luthier school. We used to sing Shaving My Nuts with a block plane to the tune of Leaving on a Jet Plane. We were high a lot. That's cute. Christopher Thomas says, I got a fresh set of EB9s, truss rod set, rattle gone. Now today it's break-in time, baby. Yeah. So how do you break it in? Once you have everything set up, you just crank it and play it loud. What do you do? Bob wants to get jackets made. I got jackets, Bob. Actually, they're not jackets; they're hoodies. You can check that out on the swag. And Homegrown Son says, could do a Secret Santa pedal gear exchange so we don't have to let our addiction to you get the best of us. Or perhaps a guitar pedal exchange. That would be cool, man. You know, that would be a cool idea for a website, don't you think? Think about it, guys. If you had, you know, they have these websites where you can swap books, where you can just basically put up books that you want to swap, and somebody offers you something else. You make the deal. You send them the book. They send you the book. Wouldn't that be a cool idea for pedals, man? You know, you just have your pedals listed, and you're like, okay, this is what I got. Somebody comes along and says, hey, you know, I like that pedal. I'll swap you this pedal for it. You make the deal, you swap, you send the stuff, and Bob's your uncle. I'd go for that. Because I find I swap pedals more than I can actually sell them. Because when you sell them, you lose so much value on them. Christopher Thomas says he's had to learn how to do his own guitar work. Got to start doing frets. The only thing I haven't actually attempted yet is a full fret job, replacing all the frets, because I haven't actually needed to do that, but eventually I will. I like to try that. So maybe one day I'll probably pick up sort of an old scrappy kind of neck off something like eBay or whatever, and get that in the house and do a refret. I'd be curious to see like how well it turns out. Ken444 says they're $145 Canadian on Amazon. Huh. So I missed what we were talking about there, Ken. Let me go back. Ken, what were you talking about? I can't find your original message there. Paul's late. Hey, Paul. You like to sleep in? That's okay, man. I like to do that too. As I was saying, we had an earthquake last night. So, I woke up at 3:40 with the house shaking. So I'm kind of messed up this morning. Hey Shane, nice to see you in the house. Thank you for joining in. I caught your show the other day too. I enjoyed it a lot. Want ESP on the headstock? Need to pay at least $3,000. Yeah, that's what I noticed lately. Everybody's jumping on that bandwagon though. That's the crazy thing. It's like you can't get a decent guitar anymore for under like $2,000, and it's pretty nuts, man. You know what I mean? It's pretty nuts. Like, I don't mind paying extra for something older, vintage, but awesome guitars are all over the place, and you don't have to spend that kind of dough. Like I've actually built part casters that I feel are just as good as some really expensive guitars that I've tried. So I don't know. I don't think I'm a master guitar builder or anything like that. So with a little effort, you can make a regular guitar shine, and you don't have to spend that kind of dough. You can spend it on other stuff. Spend it on strings. All right, guys. The other thing I wanted to say is that, I'm digging the Ampero, and I like it a lot, especially now that I have this, the FR speaker system from Headrush here. I'll do a video on that soon, because a lot of people were asking me about that. But, a lot of people are asking me to compare them to the other stuff that's out there, like the Line 6 Go that's coming out. I'd love to be able to compare some of these multi-effects units side by side, if I can get them. I don't know if Line 6 is going to be doing any kind of, sending out any kind of systems or anything like that, but I mean, I don't have an unlimited budget. I paid for the Ampero. I didn't get it for free. I wish I did, but I didn't. But I actually like it. It doesn't sound that great here, guys, because I'm playing it so low right now. And obviously it's going through the mic, and I don't have everything set up properly. But and again, I messed up the settings as I was making my video the other day. I'm going to be doing some Ampero videos. I'm playing with no pixel. It sounds a little bit muffled. almost knocked over my cup. I was going to put it on this side. That's one too many times I hit it there. Clay's asking for a great overdrive. Any suggestions? Good or great? Which one is it? It depends what you're playing. What kind of style do you play? What are you looking for in an overdrive? Are you looking for something that has just a little bit of gain, or you're looking for something that has a wide range of tone? I have some suggestions if you want to hear them. The thing is, there's a lot of different things that you can get. It depends on what kind of overdrive you're looking for. Is it like a tube screamer style drive? Is it a Klon style drive? You know, there's a lot of great drives out there, but oftentimes it's a question of budget too. To be honest with you, one of the best ones that I enjoy, and I still like it a lot, is the one I built. I used to use this a lot, but it's not really an overdrive. Pinnacle from Wampler is a great one. If you like that brown sound, this is cool, but it's not really like an overdrive. I wouldn't really call it an overdrive. The one that I like a lot is the one I built from General Guitar Gadget. It's called BSINB2, brown sound in a box. It knocked the Wampler off my board, and I like this a lot. The other one sounds better, in my opinion. It sounds more like an amp, and I think I paid it $90 or something like that. I put it together myself. It was a cool project. If you don't know how to put them together, contact General Guitar Gadgets, and the guy who runs that website will he'll actually build them for you if you don't want to build it. Sounds fantastic. A lot of people compliment me on that. Ken, Tone Rider pickups, exactly. Tone Rider City Limits. That's the one you want to get. They're awesome. I've put them in a bunch of my Strats because I love them so much. Not the other models. Specifically that one. Rich says should be a In the Blues and Addicted to Gear together video. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. I'd love to do that. Shane, I've been watching Shane's videos for a long time. He's a cool dude. Anytime. Maybe we can do the up north, down under sessions where we can get perspectives from all over the world. That would be fun. Just have to let it happen somehow. Homegrown Son says, what if subscribers wanting to purchase any new pedals address them to you for a review before you ship to them? I don't understand what you mean by that. So you're saying any new pedals address them to you for a review before you ship to them? Yeah, we can do that. I don't mind doing that. That would be cool. I'd be up for that. It'd be a lot of pedal reviews though. And to be honest with you guys, I don't know if other people agree with me that make videos on YouTube that are watching me right now. I'm not crazy about making pedal reviews. Don't tell anyone, okay? Why? Let me explain this to you. Because often it's really hard to get a really good sound recorded on YouTube. And give people a good representation of the pedal like you're hearing it in the studio. It takes a lot of time to get that right, and sometimes I feel like the time involved to do these things is just like too much. I know a lot of people like them. I like watching pedal reviews too. But yeah, that's just my opinion. I prefer reviewing guitars. I think it's more fun for me anyways. But yeah, you want to send pedals my way, I'll review them. I'll send them to you. You can trust me. Paul says, Tony, been up since 5 a.m. minding my Stomp Box Steel Blog, adding to my 1129 Pope. Great overdrive, question mark, get a tube screamer. Yeah, tube screamers are kind of a staple. I'm not a big fan of the tube screamer. I'll be honest about that. One of the overdrive pedals I really like, and I don't know where it is. Where did I put it? I don't have it here. Do I have it? It's the Rook. I wanted to show it to you guys. I don't have it here. Oh, wait a minute. I know where it is. Let me grab it. Give me a sec. Talk amongst yourselves. This guy. Mojo Hand Effects, the Rook. Great overdrive pedal. I like this one a lot. Check it out if you have an opportunity to get that. Works really well with a lot of different guitars. Then I also got this one that I also built, and it's called Dark Side of the Moon, and basically it's kind of like a fuzz pedal, but it doesn't sound like a fuzz. It's actually in between fuzz and drive, and it kind of emulates that David Gilmour sound, and it actually emulates a pedal, I won't name it, but it emulates another pedal that is really expensive that I also owned, and I compared to this one, and I ended up selling the other one, and I kept this one. Do a little research on these pedals. You can get some really good stuff. If you're handy and you can build your own stuff, do it. It's a lot of fun. You learn a lot of stuff. It takes a little bit of time. You can mess it up, but it's still a lot of fun. So that is a really cool pedal. And the 68 pedals, the clone of the, what's it called? I have one on my board right over here. 68 pedals, King of Tone clone. That one's pretty good too. It's not that expensive. A lot less expensive than a King of Tone. Does it sound the same? It's in the ballpark. It's well built though. So you can get those if you're on a budget and you want to get something good and not too expensive. Thanks, Vox Guitars Rock, man. Thank you. Something to gain up my PV Classic 30, Classic 50. Yeah, I used to have one of those amps. Great amp, by the way. What I did with that amp is actually I changed the speakers, because that amp has a lot of potential. It's just the only shortcomings it had was at least on mine, was the speakers and the reverb tanks. I changed those, sounded way better. So if you put in some speakers that actually break up a little bit earlier, you may not need to have too much gain. But as far as the pedal goes, anything will gain up that pedal nicely. Like the ones I just mentioned, those are really good as well. You don't have to go crazy. There's a lot of inexpensive overdrive pedals that really sound good. The Golden Brownie, Adrian mentioned that one. I have one over here as well. The only thing, it does sound good, but it doesn't have that much range. Like it just basically saturates and then saturates more. So it's not, you can't really clean up all that much. But that one's good. The one that's been on my board forever is this one here. I think these ones are good too. They're great pedals. This guy. Get the Plimsoll. It's basically going to emulate a cranked, Marshall 45, something like that, in that range. The cool thing about this one is it does have a little knob switch here, which has different clipping depending on how you dial it in, left or right. But this one's been on my board for a long time too. I prefer this over the Tube Screamer, in my opinion. But what do I know? If it sounds good to you, it's good, you know. But the Golden Brownie, yeah, that's a good choice. Not too expensive. The other one from Tone City is the Bad Horse. Bad Horse is also a good one. So Golden Brownie, and Bad Horse, those are good ones to choose if you don't want to spend too much money. Christopher Thomas says, on an island with no electricity, I take my BC Rich Mockingbird. Sounds great, even unplugged. That's always a good choice. I would have to think about taking my Martin acoustic guitar, if we're talking about acoustics. Christopher Thomas says, just sell on Reverb. I've never done that. I always find that the stuff on Reverb is always overpriced, and then there's fees and everything, so you have to sell it for more just to recoup your fees. I prefer to deal in person. Fat Philosopher says, nobody really watches pedal reviews. Yeah, I guess so. I guess all those watch hits on YouTube are all fake. It's probably the same guy, just clicking on his own videos all the time. Yeah, Strat5150 says, I love gear reviews, but I'll skip through 90% of the pedal review. I want to hear it, then I'm good. Yeah, that's what most people do. I have a tendency to talk too much in my reviews because I like to give like a perspective, but maybe I'm going to have to start making reviews where I do no talking and just play. It would be quicker. I'd be able to crank them out a lot quicker. Yeah, Bruce has a great point. You can't review a pedal for someone else. The sound of the pedal is totally related to the specific amp and guitar the player is using. Of course, that's what I mean. So that's what I mean when I said earlier, like, I don't really like doing pedal reviews because the amps that I'm using, the guitars I'm using, it's going to sound like my stuff. And it's not as easy to give somebody like a perspective that would apply to them. You know, they might be disappointed when they hear it. I've been disappointed many times when I listen to pedal reviews and then I end up buying the pedal and it's like, sounded great on the review, but you know, I don't have the same gear and I didn't record it the same way. So you have to be super careful when you use YouTube as a reference. You got to listen to a lot of videos, not just one, to get a good understanding of what it's really going to sound like. Fat Philosopher says, one thing I'm envious about is for Americans is that their guitar stores allow paying monthly installments. Here in Japan, it's money up front. Yeah, it's crazy, I know. That's a great option to have. Even Amazon's doing that now. It's crazy. This Headrush speaker system that I purchased, I got it off Amazon, and I'm paying monthly. I don't mind. That's cool. It's no big deal, right? If you can pay it monthly, everybody's doing that now. The world's living on credit till something crazy happens, like we have a virus. Then we're all up shit's creek. It's okay. Everybody's in the same situation, so it doesn't matter. Tag says, what about full tone OCD? Yeah, the full tone OCD is cool too. I don't really like the way it clips. I prefer the full tone plimsoll that I showed you earlier. My dog's snoring again. I guess Americans are lucky for buying guitar gear. It just adds to our addiction even more. Yeah, it's better to be addicted to gear than other stuff, let me tell you. You know, I know people that are addicted to other things way worse, so be happy with that. So has anybody tried the Line 6 Go yet? Everybody's asking me to take a look at this. Anybody try it in a store? I'm curious. And everybody's been asking me about the Ampero and comparing it to the Go, and asking me specific questions about the Ampero, like does the Ampero delay trail off, or does it switch off when you're cutting to another patch? It has the option within the software to either let it trail for the delays and the reverbs, or to turn that off. So you have the choice. So that answers that question, I guess. Anybody here using the Ampero? Somebody was also asking me about the Harley Benton guitars, the Fusion 2 and the T-style guitar that I reviewed, and they asked me whether or not the electronics inside of the two guitars were the same. I assume that they are, but I haven't actually opened them up and compared them side by side. So maybe I'll do that for you guys and let you know. I think that would be something interesting. Oh, I wanted to show you guys something. I'm going to do a quick, little quick unboxing live. Bruce says, totally agree about PV Classic 30s. Put a 3-spring tank in it. Celestion G12 Vintage 30, totally new, awesome amp. Yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but I mean, they overlook those amps because they feel that they're not as good. Also, a good set of tubes. If you replace the tubes in the Classic 30, I don't know if they're still putting groove tubes in there, but maybe tongue sol would be a good upgrade, or ruby tubes would also help it break up a little bit quicker if you want that. Yeah, so Paul's saying I should try the Mosky Audio Plexi M on AliExpress for 21 bucks. He has easily $10,000 in pedals, and he knows pedals, and he likes that one. Okay, I'm writing it down, Paul. I'm writing it down, man. Don't let me down. If I don't like that pedal, I'm sending it to you. All right, you can give me my money back. 21 bucks, man. Yeah, that's expensive. All right, Mosky, MOSKY Audio, and it's called the Plexi M. I'm writing it down. God knows I need another Plexi style overdrive pedal. I have so many overdrive pedals. Whatever, it's fine. You can always use one more. Rich says, buy a rain song for your island acoustic. Yeah, why not? Michael says, how are you liking the Bass Breaker 15? I traded my orange Tiny Terror for one after watching your review. Excuse me. I've been very impressed with it. Tons of features compared to other low wattage tube amps. Well, I like it. It's still there. It's right there. You can't see it. Anyways, it's there. It's behind me. I like it a lot. The only amp that I would probably trade that for, or exchange it for, or maybe sell it for, would be the 30R, which has 2 channels, has channel switching. Maybe that one, but I've been keeping my eyes open for it, and they don't come around too often. But as far as the 15-watt amp goes, it's fantastic. I really do like it. I had trouble matching a cabinet to it, but I finally ended up putting it into a cabinet, a 112, and that works well with it. Great, look, and it sounds great with Les Paul humbuckers, I find, too. It's not going to give you the cleanest sound. If you're looking for Fender clean, you're better off getting a Deluxe or a Supersonic 22 or something like that. But if you want edge of breakup stuff, it's really great. So Fat Philosopher says, I prefer reviews with talking because you can't really trust the sound coming at you as being realistic. Yeah, that's true. That's why I like to talk in the videos I make for the guitars, because I figure that I prefer to give people a heads up about the details that you don't really see on YouTube often. Try and give them a little bit more peace of mind if they're going to be buying the guitar sight unseen. Someone's saying, actually, keep talking. All those reviews with people just trying to show off their chops are boring. The point of the review is to get some feedback on the item, even if it's from the reviewer's point of view. Yeah, and it helps me because my chops are not that great. So, you know, it's easier for me to talk than to play sometimes. It's getting odd that Tony can't say 5150. It's early, man. It's early. I only had 1 cup of coffee. Give me a break. You can always mark timestamps in the description so people can skip to the tones. Yeah, I do that whenever I can. So I'm gonna do a little unboxing for you guys in case you're bored. Here, let me just grab it. I got this recently. Let me open it up. I know it's gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna tell you anyways. This is a ultrasonic cleaner. You know the type of cleaners that you use to clean jewelry and stuff? Alright, we should be back soon here. Let me know when you can see me again. We're gonna go live. Are we back online? I don't know if the Alright, we should be back. Are we back? Alright. Man, that sucks. I hate when that happens. It's been happening often with this stupid computer. I don't know why. Usually Macs are good for this kind of stuff, but I've had an issue with this machine since the day I bought it. So I don't know if I got a lemon or what, but one of the first things I'm gonna do when I have some cash is to dump this computer and throw it away, get something else. Sorry, man. I know we lost quite a few people there, but hey, it is what it is. Thank you for sticking around if you stuck around. All right, so let me get back to the unboxing. As I was saying, if it drops again, I'm just gonna end it right there, guys, unfortunately, but you know, hey, let's hope it works now. So as I was mentioning, unboxing, I got this crazy idea to get one of these ultrasonic cleaners because I figured it might be cool to clean the parts on my guitars. And so I ended up picking one of these up. It's a cheapie. I got it off Amazon, of course. I want to take a look at it because I never actually used one of these. Let's see what it looks like. If I could clean some of the parts on my guitars, that would be cool. So it looks like a little toaster, you know? But it has a lid in it and has a little basket. So you can actually put like water in or solution or whatever. Look at that. You put it in there. So it's big enough to put like screws, bridges, tuners, you know, whatever you want to clean. You put it in the little basket like that. You close it like that. And then there's little switches in the front for like a timer, on, off, whatever. Plug it in and you just let it do its thing, and it should be able to get the grime and stuff off the parts. So I'm curious to see how it's gonna work. I don't know if any of you ever tried one of these things, but let me know if you did. I'm curious to see, like, I'm not even sure if you're supposed to put like some specific solution in it or if it's just water or what, but for small parts like Alan says, yeah, why not? I think that would be pretty cool. What do you guys think? Am I nuts? Anyways, we'll do a video on that too, I guess. What the hell? Why not? This is for you guys. You know, I'm doing all the crazy things so you guys don't have to spend your money on crazy ideas. But, you know, somebody said strings. I don't know. Yeah, you can try it, cleaning the strings, but why would you want to reuse strings? Usually, I used to boil my strings when I was a teenager because Eddie Van Halen did that. And they used to take the brightness off of the strings so that if you were playing high gain, you would be able to not get so much brightness out of it. It really does work. You can just boil them. That's an option. Huh. That could be true. Somebody's saying there's a valid theory that due to the amount of people staying at home that the internet hasn't prepared for that. Ergo, lagging happens. As for your Mac, dump it, get a PC. Mac only good for video editing. Yeah, and even at that, sometimes, even with the video editing, it kind of dies on me sometimes. I think I just need something quicker, newer, and faster. All right. Fat Philosopher agrees I'm nuts, so that's that. All right. Sisha says, I cleaned my glasses in of these last week, in one of these, I guess, and it worked. As far as I know, you can clean anything in one of those things. Bob says, yes, nuts and addicted, try a toothbrush. I have tried a toothbrush. Whatever. We'll see. You might be surprised. You're making fun of me now, guys, but you might be surprised. I might be onto something. Might stumble on something that you guys are going to want. What else do I have on my list? Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you guys a question. Do any of you guys have a 3D printer? Now you're going to ask me, what are you up to? Why do you need a 3D printer? I wanted to print some parts. I have the actual 3D file, and I wanted to print some parts to make a couple of little things for my Ampero. And I don't have access to a 3D printer. I know you can. There's some services out there that will do 3D printing for you. I don't know if they're probably pretty expensive. But hey, good night, Fat Philosopher. Take it easy, man. Stay safe. Stay indoors. Wash your hands. Play your guitars. I know there's a couple of places online that will print 3D files if you send them to them. But they're not cheap. I figured I'd ask the question just in case any of you dabble in 3D printing. I know the 3D printers are more popular nowadays than they were previous. So if you guys have a 3D printer and you want to do me a favor, let me know. And I'd like to print a couple of parts. That's all. Corey Cat says, can you tell me if I can drop in DMs or SD humbuckers in the Harley Benton SC450 P90 GT Classic series that you reviewed? I'm not sure if the P90's size in that guitar are the same. You want to put in humbuckers in the P90, it won't work. The routing in the P90s are not the same size as humbuckers, if that's what you're asking me. Sunday Matinee says, I have access to a 3D printer at school, but now school is closed. Yeah, that's the thing. So it's all right. If nobody has access, that's okay. I'll end up finding somebody eventually and getting those parts printed. I wanted to make, just so you know, I wanted to make a little cover for the knobs. There's 3 knobs on the front of the Ampero, and I wanted just to make a little cover for it, so it protects the knobs when it's in a bag. And I wanted to make a little extension for the wah, or the expression pedal, because it's a little bit small, and if you have big feet, it kind of feels awkward. So I just wanted to make a clip-on section that would make it a little bit longer, make it a little bit more comfortable. Paul says a cheap but effective cleaner is fantastic original formula. Rust comes off with very fine steel wool and undiluted dish liquid used as a lubricant. Interesting. I wonder if I can put that in the ultrasonic cleaner. Paul, you're onto something. Gonna write that down. You're a wealth of information today. Rust comes off. So, okay, so fantastic cleaner. That's for window. That's for glass, right? Original formula. And a little dish soap just to keep things lubed. I'm gonna try that out. I'm gonna try that. I'm also gonna try that in the ultrasonic cleaner. Maybe I won't have to use steel wool, because doesn't that like take out, like leave marks, like it's gonna leave little scratches everywhere. George says you could usually drop a P90 in a humbucker route, but not vice versa. Yeah, exactly. But I think there probably are some mini humbuckers you can probably use if you're really not a fan of the P90s. I know that there's a lot of people making those. Yeah, and Sunday says the same thing. Yeah, I know that I came across a few just recently. Adrian says here in Vienna there's a shop which sells Bigtone amps, very expensive. What do you think about those amps? Bigtone. I don't know them. Unfortunately, the stuff that we get here in Canada is not always the same as what we can get in other parts of the world. So I don't have the ability to check out all this stuff. I'll write it down though. Bigtone amps. How expensive is very expensive? That's the funny thing about amps. You know, there's a lot of amps, a lot of great boutique amps, but you don't really see too many people using them. You know, like the Sir amps, I don't see a lot of famous guitarists using them beyond like Pete Thorne. The Friedman, on the other hand, this guy over here and other Friedman amps are crazy good. Okay, you have to sell a kidney, but one kidney is enough for everybody. That's what I say. And my scar is healing nicely, so it's all good. But yeah, if you can get a Friedman amp, get one, man. Especially the smaller ones, because they're not as expensive, but they sound glorious. If you can get one, if you can find one used. I bought that one. I bought the Dirty Shirley used, and I'm glad I did. Cranked, that thing sounds amazing. Adrian, so yeah, ZZ Top played them. That's why they probably cost a lot. Anything that I've noticed this because I've been following this as well. Anything that Billy Gibbons plays, all of a sudden becomes super expensive. There's the Bigtone amps. There's Tone King. I think that was another amp that he used at one point. As soon as he uses an amp, the price skyrockets. Now he's using the Magnetones, which are already crazy expensive. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. When it comes to spending that kind of money on amplifiers, you can get a lot of good sounds out of amplifiers that cost a lot less. There's a bunch of amplifiers I was considering purchasing. At one point I was looking at the Naylor Amps. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. I saw a bunch of great sounding reviews on those ones and I was considering them, but they were just too expensive. And at the end I didn't buy them. Quirky Cat says, have you had the chance to try any or play any of the Epi Les Pauls? I want to get one and learn to play it. I'd like to try them. I'd love to have one for a review. I wonder if Epiphone is going to send any out to any YouTubers, but I doubt it because it's not like they need the exposure or anything like that. But yeah, I'd like to try them. I'm curious to see how they stack up with compared to other guitars, like especially like Harley Benton stuff. I think a lot of people will like them. The headstock looks a little nicer too now. Sunday Matinee says there's a humbucker version of that Goldtop. Yes, there is. From Harley Benton, you can get them. If you really don't like P90s, yeah, go for the humbucker one. Paul says if you get an old, totally grunged up guitar, clean the wood with naphtha. It was used on Stradivarius violins. That's what I do. When I clean my my necks, if there's any kind of dirt or anything, I usually use naphtha first before I give it a little bit of hydration with some mineral oil. With all the time I spend at home, I feel guitar and video games isn't enough anymore. Are you guys receiving your model trains and slot cars suggestions? Thomas, there's so much you can do, man. Why aren't you practicing? Why aren't you practicing guitar? Let's be honest, okay? Let's all raise our hand. How many of us are spending time practicing? I'm going to put my hand down right now. Why is it that we have all this time? I've been itching to have time off from work for so long because I wanted to basically be able to have extra time to do stuff like this, make my videos and stuff. Now I have it, and I'm not practicing. I'm not doing it. Mind you, I've been making videos, so that takes a lot of time as well. That's for you guys. Paul, the naphtha is basically lighter fluid, isn't it? You can just get lighter fluid. That'll do. That's naphtha. You can use that. So who's practicing? I don't see a show of hands, so I guess that's it. Has anyone tried the Nux Horseman, a Klon clone? Nope, not yet. Is that new, Matt? I'm gonna write that one down too. Nux New X. I can probably get that one for review eventually. Right now, nothing's happening. Nobody's really sending out anything from overseas, so it might be a little while. 68 Amps also makes a pretty cool clone of the Klon. I have it somewhere. I was just playing it the other day. It's over here. Let me grab that. Every time I get up, the thing freezes, so hopefully it won't freeze this time. This guy. This is 68 pedals or whatever it's called. This is a clone of a Klon. It looks like a pretty boring box, but it's well built. I looked at it inside, and it does a Klon thing pretty well. But one thing I noticed about the Klon pedals is that it has to be matched up well to the amplifier, because it doesn't work well with all amplifiers. Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys, if you've tried a Klon clone. The Archer is great if you want to get a nice Klon clone. I think that's the nicest one that I've tried and played and heard. All right. Steve from Boston just got one. I'm sure he got it for free. Probably. And how did it sound? Does it sound good? I like the sound of a Klon. It's just that often I find the ones that you get don't really sound like the real Klon. So what's the point? Do you have any experience with the Wampler Tumnus Deluxe pedal? I wonder how it would stack up with my Wampler Euphoria. I always wanted to get the Euphoria. I've been trying to get one for a long time used. They never come up used. But the Wampler sounds pretty nice. Brian makes good stuff. I like Wampler pedals a lot. I've tried, so far I've tried the Pinnacle. Then there's the Sovereign, which was a heavier sounding pedal. I tried the Pinnacle, the Sovereign. What is that other one that he has that is also like a brown sound? I forget now. I put the Pinnacle up against that one, and I like the Pinnacle best. Adrian says, Canada has so many great bands. April Wine, Triumph, Frank Barino, Rush. Yeah, man, I agree. We rock. Honeymoon Suite. That's a little old. You guys probably don't even know them. Kim Mitchell. How about that for a Canadian? He has some nice songs as well. Thomas says, I'm playing a little bit, but not much. Paul says he practices for 2 hours a day, every day, for decades, and I'm 73. Awesome, Paul. So you must be like a killer player right now. That's amazing. I wish I could do that. Bob also says, I'm practicing more now than he ever did as a teenager. Awesome. I got to practice more. I really do. I'm going to take the guitar right now. I should always have a guitar in my hands. That would stop me from eating. It's hard to eat a sub if you have a guitar in your hands. So Sunday says, I've been thinking about getting some Harley Benton guitars, but now I'm concerned the quality might go down due to coronavirus. Yeah, we don't know, man. Who knows? I hope not. I mean, it shouldn't. But yeah, that's something that I didn't think about. The next guitar I'd like to get from Harley Benton, if I can, is the Junior. Because P90s, I like P90s, and I don't have a Junior style guitar. I don't know if Shane is still in the house, but I think he reviewed one of those. And if he cares to pipe in, maybe he can tell me what he thought of it, and if he still has it. Because I know he got the Les Paul. What else? Harley Bentons are rising in price. Don't wait too long to get one. Yeah, I know. They're doing a blitz, right? So they're becoming super popular right now. A lot of people are talking about them. So yeah, the prices are going to go up. I'm wondering what the prices are going to be like once the economy, after all this virus stuff settles down, once the dust settles, what's going to happen with the prices? I wonder if the prices are going to go down. They should, because people are not going to have money lying around just to spend on guitars. Interest rates are super low, investments are down, so who knows? Paul says that the Tumnus is muddy. I have one. So you don't recommend that, Paul? What amp are you playing that through? Just so I have a reference. Rush is #1. Met them in MNG. Don't forget, yeah, Joni Mitchell, that's true. Neil Young, that's true. Robbie Robertson, yep. That's true. Bad Attitude and New Girl Now, two lesser known gems by Honeymoon Suite. Yeah. And what about Wave Babies? Remember Wave Babies? Don't ask me why I remember that. Haven't played that since I was a teenager. Feta fried rice. Sup, bro? Not much, man. I hope you're doing okay. Alan Pet. He says Harley Benton could be iffy for a while. Yeah, true. I hope not. Prices will have to drop, no cash around. So you're 100% correct. Yeah, so what's Fender going to do? They've been pumping up their prices. Gibson's been pumping up their prices. Come on, guys. Give us a break. Thomas K says, I got a G&L Tribute Deluxe. Don't want to keep anymore. Do you think it's best to wait before selling your unwanted gear? Why wait? I mean, list it for the price that you want it. If it doesn't sell, just hang on to it. There's no point in waiting. I'm sure people still have some cash. If they're looking for it, you never know. They might grab it. Bryan Adams. Yeah. I like Bryan Adams. He's okay. There's nothing wrong with Bryan Adams. Unless you know something I don't know. Bryan Adams. He's kind of laying low, I guess. Or maybe he's retired. Feta Fried Rice says, how many tellies you got back there? There's 5. Only 5. There's actually 4. There's one missing. There's the red one missing. I had them up there because I was going to do the blindfold test. Same as what I did with my Strats, but with the tellies. And I didn't get around to it. I figured I was going to do the Strats, the tellies, and then the Les Paul style guitars just to see how they compare. Maybe I'll do that today. I don't know. We'll see. Paul says, Tony, I use a Plexi left clean. Keep in mind I have 70 pedals on my board to compare to as to what the clean and as what is clean and what is not. A lot of people don't understand that the Plexis are clean amps because, you know, they hear like AC/DC and whatnot and they assume that it's going to sound like that. But in actual fact, Plexis are pretty clean. To get them to break up like that, you have to first get your eardrums to start bleeding, and that's how you're going to get that sound on the record. So for those of you who think that you're going to get that sound with a Plexi, that's where people always end up selling them. I had a really great clone of a Plexi that was built by Kevin at Retro Rockitt Retro. I always mix that up. And he sells his clones for I think 1,006, something like that. I think with exchange taxes, I think I ended up paying 1,008, something like that. Great hand-built quality, point to point, sounded fantastic. I had one for a long time. I ended up selling it because it was just too loud, and it didn't have any switching. It did have a volume adjustment in the back of it, but unfortunately it still wasn't I wasn't able to get what I needed from home without using pedals in terms of saturation, so I ended up selling it. It went to a good home, and the guy that has it now really loves it, and he's a great player, by the way. So I'm happy it went to him. I ended up buying the Brunetti Plexi-man, which is also behind me, right over there next to, right over there. You'll see the one that's black and cream right there. That's an Italian amplifier. Great sounding Plexi type circuit, and it has way more flexibility because it does have 2 channels, so you can go clean, you can go dirty. It has switches, so you can actually play it at very low volumes. You can go up down to 5 watts on it. It has the effects loop in the back of it. It has a really good foot switch as well. So you can really do a lot with that particular amp, and it's great. And it doesn't cost that much. People would think that it would be a lot more expensive, but sounds great. I don't play it nearly enough. All right, so what are we talking about here? Plexi clean is dead clean, but fat. Yeah, it's fat for sure. And it hits you right in the chest when you're playing it through a 412 cabinet. It makes your pant leg flap in the breeze when you're playing it loud enough. That's how you know when your guitar is loud enough. The flaps of your pants will flap around in the breeze. Rich says, what kind of board are you up to with 70 pedals? A sheet of plywood? So basically you're keeping up with David Gilmour then. So what do you do with all those pedals? You just keep them? Just gathering dust? You can't, how do you power night all those pedals? I guess you're flip-flopping back and forth like I do sometimes. You know, you like a pedal one day and then it kind of falls out of favor, and then you go back to it a couple of weeks later and you like it again. I do that with my guitars all the time. I've never had my guitars Pleked. I'd like to do that, but I assume they're pretty expensive to do that. Actually, I do have, what am I saying? I do have a Pleked guitar. My Gibson Les Paul's Pleked. One of my Gibson Les Pauls is Pleked. Yeah, I forgot about that. G&L tried to reinvent the Fenders, but it never really took off. Yeah, I had a great G&L guitar, which was a Strat. It was a Honeyburst. I bought that one. I paid over $2,000 for it. Like, this was a long time ago, way back, early 90s. And it sounded great, hand built. You can tell it still had the little birthmarks, they call it, the little holes that they drill to like set the neck in the jigs when they're building them and what. And I ended up selling that guitar. Should have kept it. It was a great guitar. Pretty light too. People like the stuff that they like. They don't like change. Guitarists don't like change. When you try to reinvent something, even if it's Leo Fender doing it, they just want the same old stuff. That's why Fender doesn't change their guitars all that much. They just like reinvent them with new names, some slight changes in features and stuff, but basically not much. Paul says he has a power attenuator for the amp. I had one too. I had a Weber power attenuator for the Rockitt Retro amp that I had. I had to use that. It's just too loud. SH Guitar Works says I bought my ASAT Deluxe Trans Black Tele because of your review. That's a great guitar. Do you like it? because I loved mine. I ended up selling it though. Sorry, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that. I ended up selling it. Why, I forget. Maybe too many telecasters. But it really played really well. Great guitar for the money. Somebody's asking me, a couple people are asking me about my watch. Is that an Omega diver that you have, that you're wearing? Yeah, it is. Let's see if the time is right. Holy crap, it's 12. It's almost 10 past 12. I can't show it to you. There you go. I love the Omega watches. What kind of Les Paul do you have? I just bought one in December. 50 standard in Heritage Cherry. Sweet guitar. I have two Les Pauls. They're both standards. Slightly different though. But I don't play them that often. I always spend my time playing other stuff. You know, sooner or later I'm gonna have to like liquidate my stuff and just like say like bring it back down to a manageable amount of guitars, because right now, you know, you have too much stuff when you can't even remember what you have. And I'd love to give my son some of my guitars. He's left-handed, so like he's having trouble playing. Well, I don't know if he's having trouble. He says he doesn't have trouble. He's left-handed when he writes, but he's not left-handed, he claims, when he plays. And but I don't really know if I believe him. I think he's having a challenge. I think he's trying to play the right-handed guitar, but I don't know. I don't know if any of you are left-handed and if you can maybe tell me how it works. But like he says that he does everything else right-handed, but he's left-handed. So he writes with his left hand, but he basically can like, you know, pitch a ball or, you know, do the hockey stick thing with a standard right-handed bat or stick or whatever. So I don't know if it's just him. So I'm not sure if that's like stopping him from advancing quicker or not. Because then I'd leave him all of my guitars. What Japanese guitar do you have? I have a couple. I have my Tokai. I have a Black Beauty Tokai that's made in Japan. I have a regular Les Paul style Tokai guitar that's made in Japan, and I do have a reissue Strat that's also a Japanese guitar. All great instruments, by the way. Highly recommend Japanese guitars if you can grab one, if you can find one. And all of those I bought used, and all of them were a great deal, and they're all worth more now. So don't hesitate to grab stuff when it's cheap, because the prices keep going up. Has anybody out there using Logic to record as a software? Thomas says, a friend of mine is left-handed and I tried to play on his guitar here and there, next to impossible to adapt to it. Yeah, I know. I've tried to switch the guitar around and just play it flipped over, forget it. My son writes with his left hand but plays right-handed. I've seen quite a few people do this. Yeah, I know. Is that normal though? Because I'd like him to, you know, apply himself, and he's been really trying to learn how to play. I've been showing him a lot of stuff, but I'm just wondering if it's going to take him longer because of the left hand thing. Do you think a right-handed guitar teacher can teach a left-handed player with zoom by reversing the image on the screen? I don't know. Good idea. I don't think it's the visual thing, though. I think it's more like strumming. I find that he has trouble strumming. And I understand, because if you try and strum with your left hand, it's kind of not the same feeling. If he learns right, he'll have access to a lot more guitar gear. Yeah, that's true. That's what I told him. I said, one day this stuff's going to be yours, so you better learn how to play. I don't want to see it on eBay. Excuse me. Well, guys, we've been talking for a heck of a long time. We've lived through another glitch with my computer. There's still 40 of you guys online, so I really appreciate it. And I don't mind staying a little longer, but not too long. So it's 12:14 now. How about, I don't know, another 10 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up. So any other questions you guys want to ask me right now, go ahead. And I'm going to put the guitar down. Go ahead and ask me your questions if you like, and I'll answer them all. Justin from Justin Guitar's online teaching site just restarted his beginner's course and swapped over to left-hand playing so as to go through what beginners go through. He had a really hard time. Yeah, I mean, it's not natural. You're trying to like split your brain and train it to do something it's not designed to do. That's why piano playing is so hard. You're basically playing your left hand, and you know, you're playing a tune with your left hand, you're playing rhythm with the bass side with your left, your treble with your right, and you basically have to read two different things at the same time. Super difficult to do. It's possible, people do it, but it's not easy. Steve says, my brother's left-handed but plays right hand is damn good. So I guess there's a lot of people that are capable of doing this. He claims he can do it, so who am I to say he can't, right? Alan says, which new guitar do you want? I mentioned it earlier. I think if I end up getting something, I'd like to get the like a junior, like a Les Paul Junior, like a double cut or something like that, or a single cut. But not a Les Paul. I probably end up getting Harley Benton. There's a Harley Benton. There's the TV yellow ones that they have. They're not really TV yellow. They're kind of a weird color. And I'm not crazy about that one. But there's the other one that I've seen that they're going to be coming out with, I think, which is sort of like a... it's a thin skin, so it's not a thick poly. You can actually see the grain in the wood. They had one that was stained red. And same type of guitar with P90s. I think that would be killer. If they have them in stock eventually, that's probably the one I'm going to get. Not crazy about the TV yellow color. Thomas says, do you think it's possible to refinish the ASAT Tribute Deluxe without removing the binding? Yeah, you could do it. You can. You don't have to remove the binding. You just have to be careful when you're sanding. But you have to also realize that if you're trying to refinish it as a clear color, like you want to show the grain, you got to be super careful because the top is laminated. It's not a thick slab of wood. It's actually like paper thin. So if you plan on sanding that out because it's poly, it's going to be difficult to sand. You're gonna risk going through the finish and going through the lamination, and if that happens, then you have to basically just paint it a solid color. So I would not do that. It's super tricky. But if you want to get you're almost better, if you don't like the color, you're almost better selling it and getting the color you want. I can do it. Some people like your son can use both hands. Lucky ambidextrous people. Yeah. I'm left-handed and I'm left-handed, and when you have to choose to learn to use your right hand. Yeah. So a lot of left-handed people have the same challenges, I see. So just to recap, I asked the question if anybody here was using Logic as a recording tool, as a recording software, Logic Pro. I'm only asking because I recently noticed that I think because of the new OS or the most recent OS, I'm having trouble importing MP3s. When I import an MP3 as a backing track to play along with it, the sound is like jumbled, gerbled. It doesn't come through clear anymore. It's having trouble playing the MP3 file. So I don't know why that is, but it's a real pain because I wanted to record some songs and use an MP3 as a backing track, and I can't do that anymore. I know other people are having this issue, so I'm just wondering if anybody knows if the issue has been resolved. Steve's asking me what type of strings and gauge do you use. So I use Ernie Ball hybrid slinkies. That's the brand I've been using for a while. I tried the Ernie Ball fat bottom light tops for a while. They felt good for a little while, but then I didn't really stick with them. And I go with 9s. Alan says, why not buy a left-handed guitar? I actually bought him a left-handed guitar when he was younger, but he never really got to using it too much. And I eventually sold it because it was just gathering dust. Now he has an acoustic guitar. It's right-handed, and he says he prefers to play right-handed. So that's that. Ed, you're in the house. Late but made it. We've been talking for over what, 2 hours and almost 2 hours and a half now. Mark Knopfler is left-handed, plays right side. I didn't know that. Interesting. Never knew that. Well, there you go. Maybe that's why he does the picking with his fingers instead of with the pick. Maybe that's one of the reasons. Has more control. Ed, do you play in a band? What kind of music do you play? I do play in a band. I actually have a video on my channel of us playing a tune. You can check that out. It's we play, well, we used to play regularly before this virus thing kicked in. Now we don't play that often anymore. We're kind of waiting for this entire thing to blow over. We play mostly anything. We play from classic rock to contemporary songs, whatever we feel like playing. Good group of guys, been playing with them for a long time. You can check out our video if you want. It's in my video files. Clay says, just got a Harley Benton SC Custom. Playing it right now. So far I love it. For rock I find it doesn't clean up that great. What do you think? I think the pickups on the Harley Benton guitars could use an upgrade. They're not bad, but I think an upgrade on the guitars would actually make those guitars great. So that's something you might want to consider if you're playing that guitar a lot. Thanks, William. Those are not posters, actually. They're canvas prints. Corky Cat says, I'm going to send you an email via your listed email address. Have a read. It's to do with Harley Benton guitars and possible help that I can give you. Great. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. Any help is very much appreciated. So guys, it's 12:23. I think we're going to have to wrap it up. Any last questions before I say good afternoon to you guys and wish you a good Sunday? It's always a pleasure talking with you guys, by the way. William says, do I have any experience with Obsidian harnesses? I do. I have a video of that. You guys, check out my videos. I mean, I've done a lot of videos on a lot of different topics. A lot of these questions you're asking me, I've done videos on. Yeah, I swapped out the electronics in my Gibson Les Paul, and I put in an Obsidian harness. And I love it, because the switches, the little clips that they had in there were a nightmare. I don't know why Gibson does that, but I decided to switch to the harness because I like to swap pickups, and getting those pins were very difficult, very expensive, and I know they make it easier for the Gibson people, but they don't make it easier for us. So I took it out, and I'm happy that I did. And actually, I have another harness coming in, supposed to come in soon, from Mad Hatter. I want to put it into the P90 Harley Benton guitar here, because I want to swap out and put in these Zangbucker pickups that I was talking about earlier. So I was hoping to do them at the same time, but they haven't arrived yet. So in the meantime, I'm going to swap out the pickups. When the harness arrives, I'll probably swap out the electronics too. I only wanted to do this once, but I want to actually do that soon. So I'm going to check the mailbox today. If it's not in there, I'm going to probably go ahead and swap out the pickups and see how great these new P90s sound. Sunday Matinee says, what wireless guitar system would you recommend now? If you're looking for something small, not too expensive, the nicest ones I've tried so far are these, which are the Nux B5RC 2.4 gigahertz wireless system. Very nicely built. They have a nice case that recharges the transmitter and receiver. They will give you issues with noise sometimes. They're not 100% quiet. If you're looking for something really quiet, you're going to have to go with something else. I would recommend the Phoenix Pro that I also did a review on. It's bigger, but it seems to handle noise better. Don't go with the really super cheap ones because you're going to have problems with those. You get what you pay for. You know, you gotta spend a little bit if you're going to be serious about the quality. If you're not, then you're better off just going with guitar cables, hardwire. All right, guys, thank you very much for tuning in once again. Please, guys, next Sunday in the morning, we're going to do this again. I want to see all you guys there. Please stay safe, okay? This virus craziness is really crazy, and I really want to make sure everybody's safe. Please wash your hands, stay home. If you don't have to go out, spread the word. The best advice I can give you guys is this: act as if you already have the virus and do what you would do if you already had the virus, and that's really the only way you can stay safe. All right, so please take the precautions, make sure your family and friends are safe, and I want to see more of you guys next Sunday, not less of you guys because of the virus. All right, so please, in the meantime, guys, I want to see you rocking, practicing. Make sure you tune in, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the little bell icon and watch my videos, because there's a lot of good stuff back there, okay? That's it for now, guys. Big thumbs up to all of you guys. I really appreciate it. See you soon. We'll talk again very shortly. Take care now.